Hello, 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 hello. It's Thursday. And you know what that means? A new episode of Chit Chat with Brittney Bella. I'm your host, Bernadine. So thank you for tuning in tonight. Let me know if you can hear me. If you're here, say hi, say hello, drop a comment. Welcome to episode 18 of Chit Chat with Brittney Bella. We're just here chugging along slowly, one episode at a time. So if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. Previous episodes can be found on YouTube, so visit the site, like, comment, and subscribe and set your notifications. Again, like I said, drop a comment, say hello, let me know if you can hear me clearly, because technology, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So if this is your first time, this is a talk show where we discuss current affairs, politics, sports, entertainment, gossip, and news, what's happening in our community and around the world. Also, if it's a trending topic, it will be discussed as well. Your thoughts and opinions are welcome. And you, the viewers, are asked to participate. You can ask questions, make comments, give your opinions, etc., etc., etc. It's an interactive show, so chime in when you can. And your participation will give you the opportunity to win free gifts. And this week it's the ISO tea, it's a detox tea. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the program. Hi, Enid. Thanks for checking in. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Thanks for checking in. How was your week? Okay, so as usual, we're going to be starting with our entertainment musical section of the night and our artist preview of the week. Lovers rock crooner DeVille is now a born-again Christian. The singer, who is known for hits such as Always on My Mind, This Time I Promise, In Heaven, and a remake of All My Life featuring Marcia Griffiths, gave his life to the Lord earlier this week. In a post on his Instagram story, he wrote, "Had the privilege to make the best decision of my life. Thanks to everyone who supported, mentored, and encouraged me." It was accompanied by a photo of a pastor baptizing the singer in a pool of water. Born Orville Thomas, he is the son of 1980s old school DJ Jat Thomas. DeVille is a former lead singer of boy group ARP. Oh, Enid says, yes, I can hear you. My week is good. Thanks. Awesome. Awesome. So, Elephant Man also has a new video out. Born Orville Thomas, he is the son of 19. Elephant Man also has a new video out called She Love It. It's catchy. It's have a nice buzz, nice song, can play on the radio. Sean Storm featuring Seckles has a new video and song out called Old Fire Stick. That's strictly a dancehall song. They would need to do a clean version in order for it to be played on the radio, but it has a nice flow. Ritical has a new song and video out called One Day Good. Has a nice vibes to it, bouncy, catchy, can listen to, can also be played on the radio. So check out all videos and album on YouTube and Vivo. And we're going to go to the sports arena right now. Blue Jays are still losing more than they're winning. They still have not yet gotten a consistent winning streak. They're presently 50 and 48. At the rate they're going, they will not be making the playoffs this year. They start playing at Rogers Center tomorrow with limited capacity. So let's hope that playing at home will have a different effect on them, and they will start winning consistently. TFC, they won their last game last Saturday, 2-1 over Chicago. They've not lost a game since changing their coach and starting to play at home. So let's hope this continue and they can move up in the standings and possibly make the playoffs. Their next game is on Sunday against Nashville, so wishing them luck on winning that game. And the Argonauts, their training camp is on now. Their first game is August 7th, which is next Saturday. They'll be playing the Stampeders. So we're going to wish them a winning season. So if you've joined, say hi, say hello, let me know who is here. Drop a comment, let me know that you're here. So apparently, and I was not aware of this, you could get a speeding ticket while riding your bicycle in the province of Ontario. Apparently that's a thing. So Tracy Osborne, lady on the left, says she was riding her commuter bike when she was ticketed. She says she wasn't racing, she was just riding in the park. And some Toronto cyclists say they were surprised and are frustrated this week after being handed tickets in Hyde Park for biking above the posted speed limit of 20 kilometers per hour. Tracy Osborne said she and her son were riding downhill on the west side of the park Tuesday morning when they were each ticketed $125. Holy crappy. For me, it was disbelief. I'm getting my first speeding ticket on a bike, said Osborne, who noted she was riding a commuter bike and that there weren't many people around at the time. The same thing happened to Daniel Olton on Tuesday. He was commuting to work through the park when he was given a ticket at the bottom of a hill. I was quite frustrated because there's a lot of cars and golf carts in this park that go much faster, said Olton. Daniel Olton says police and the city should be doing more to go after dangerous drivers rather than cyclists. I thought it was quite a poor use of resources to be ticketing cyclists who have no way of knowing how fast they're going. The cyclists were ticketed as part of a joint enforcement blitz from police and city bylaw officials on Monday and Tuesday. Officers handed out 126 tickets to drivers and cyclists for speeding or failing to pause at stop signs. But both Osborne and Olton told CBC Toronto they felt the approach was unfair and think the city is enforcing road rules unevenly. They say they don't often see officers stopping cars driving dangerously around cyclists, something they say which poses a greater risk to public safety. Hi, Marcel, good evening. Hi, Erica, good evening. Hi, Sharon, good evening. Enid said that is robbery. $125 ticket. $125 ticket for cycling. They're saying that signs are posted in the park saying, you go 20 kilometers an hour, and apparently they were going above that, and they were ticketed. 100. Oh wow. So for the cyclers out there, be warned, you will be ticketed $125 for going fast. So yeah. So we're going to circle around to Jamaica. So in Westmoreland, the quiet community of Bullet Tree near Petersfield in Westmoreland is now in mourning after a well-known clergyman was stabbed to death and his 17-year-old son was taken into police custody in relation to the incident. The deceased, Garnet Foster, was the head of the Petersfield Mountain Assembly Church of God. Every death was happening at Bullet Tree. This are the worst one. And the best man, shouted a distraught Cassandra Denham, who said Foster was her daughter's godfather. According to Observer online sources from the community, Foster and his son were involved in an altercation. Shortly after, the father was seen walking down the lane soaked in blood, clutching his neck. The slain man's mother, Verona Foster, told Observer she was awakened by her grandson banging on her door and saying his father was hurt. She quickly got dressed and rushed to her son's side. When me see him, me hold him up and he said to me, him want a taxi to go hospital. Lord Jesus, Garnet is everything to me, she cried as she clutched her chest. Christopher Jones, a popular taxi man, said he was the one who transported the pastor to the hospital. About 5:30 a.m., his mother called me and asked whether he recounted. His car full of passengers, he put the wounded man in the trunk of the vehicle. The condition when me did really see me and admitted that me I tell you the truth, it did difficult for him to make it, shared the depressed Jones. He said the passengers tried to use disposable wipes to staunch the bleeding, but the blood was just too much. Members of the Petersfield Mountain Assembly Church of God are among those reeling from Foster's sudden and tragic death. It's a really awful situation, especially to hear how he died. Gospel music could be heard blasting through the community on Friday afternoon. Also, apparently, there was another article on this man last year when I think it was last September, October, when kids didn't have Wi-Fi in order to do their studies. Him and his wife welcomed the kids into their home to use their Wi-Fi for free. So this is a really big blow to the community. But for a 17-year-old son to stab his father to death, apparently there are members in the community who are saying that the son has mental issues, and he was talking to the son about the type of company he was keeping and the things that he was doing. Apparently the son didn't like it. They got into a fight, and it resulted in his death and his son now being in jail. So not good at all. Not good for, father to be killed by his son. But we're going to circle around into Atlanta, and an Atlanta police officer and sergeant were removed from duty after video surfaced showing a woman being kicked in the head. The action was taken after Atlanta Police Chief Rodney Bryant and commanders within the Atlanta Police Department became aware of the video on July 26. The video was first posted on social media showing an Atlanta police sergeant kicking a woman in her head. The police chief said upon reviewing the video, the actions of the sergeant appeared to be unacceptable, and we're also concerned with the apparent lack of reaction from another officer present during the incident. The decision was made to immediately relieve both employees from duty, with the sergeant placed on unpaid suspension and the officer placed on administrative assignment. So the sergeant was the one that kicked the lady in her head. The officer didn't kick her in the head, but at the same time did not do anything to prevent her partner from kicking the woman in the head. According to the video, the woman is seen laying face down on the ground with her hands cuffed behind her back. A woman in a police uniform stands next to her, and a male in uniform stands in front of her. As the handcuffed woman raises her head, the male kicks her in the head. Another male officer who didn't appear to see the kick walks by. The female officer and the second male officer then try to turn the woman over before the video clip ends. Well, I tell you, so thank God for Black people and cell phone, because the amount of abuse that cell phone pick up, the amount of abuse Black people get with cell phone pick up, trust. You can imagine all I will never get used to get pick up on cell phone, how the abuse and all of that is something them what police get away with. And I did see a video where one policeman a plant drugs in a car and him turning body cam where you couldn't see say him plant the drugs, but him never did see say the passenger in the car did start videotape the process when the car stop, and that's what catch the policeman at throw the drugs in the car. Why, poor Black people. So Erica says, well, these children these days, man, I know it's like something in the water will just trigger them, Erica. Sharon says, good night, Miss German. How are you? Christine says good night. Good night, Miss Jackson. How are you? But yeah, I mean, the Enid says I saw it too. You saw the video, right? Where the police, and it was a Latino police officer that was actually planting the drugs in the car and didn't know that the video was playing. They didn't know the video, it was being recorded, so that if not, the guy would have gone to jail for possession of drugs that he never had. And I mean, I guess the Latino police officer because his skin whitish, him not colored, him forgets that white people don't really look upon Latinos as white, but they look upon them as other. So when him a plant it against a black man, him a plant it against a person of color just like himself. But these people, they don't look at things in that manner. They just look at it and, oh, may I go try frame a black man today. May I go try. Hey, Sandra. Sandra says same thing they're doing in Canada. Sandra, me not like it, because I see you post up your nice food from Jamaica and all of them something there, but I understand, so you have to run well left way, so just enjoy yourself down there and watch your head back. But me not like the food them when you post up, because me can't get none. Anyways, I'm going to touch on Britney Spears for a little bit, because I feel sorry for what's happening with her. And I mean, some people say money make you happy, but in a fair case, money and fame, I mean, money and fame just not doing it for her at all. So I'm not quite sure how many of you know, but since 2008, so about 13 years now, she has not been able to make any decisions on her own. Any money she want, she have to ask her father permission to get her own money what she work hard for. Now I understand what was happening back in 2008, why she was required, why it helped that her father was put as a conservator back then. But the girl seemed to have gotten her things together. She got married, she had kids, she settled down, and she seemed to be doing well. And yet still, the father no want let go off of our money. The father no want let go off our money. So anything she want, any money she want, any business decision she want make, the father have to give permission for it. And if the father don't give permission, she can't get it. So she's been fighting in court over the last few years to get to, to be able to handle her business and stuff. So the mother actually came out, because the mother divorced the father about 15, 16 years ago. And the mother came out and she talked some things about what she witnessed, where the father actually got into a fight with Brittney-year-old's then 13-year-old son, where a restriction order was taken out against the father for fighting the grandson. She also came out and talked about the quid pro quo that Brittney had to do. So the father was said to Brittney, if you need to do this, then if you want permission to do this, you have to do this for me. Remember, the girl work her hard-earned money, as she work her hard-earned money. And the father a hold on tight on him. Plus, she has to pay him, I think it's about $16,000 to $18,000 a month, in order for him to be her conservator. So she pay him. She have to ask him for permission to spend her own money. And it started in 2008. Now we are 2021. So 13 years later, Brittney is what? late 30s, almost 40. Imagine you being a 40-year-old woman where you still have to ask your father for money. And you still have to ask your father for permission to do any major transaction in your life because he might try to hold on to your thing. That's not right. So hopefully this last lawyer that she has, there's been the judge had denied her claim a couple of weeks ago to release her father. So she got a new lawyer, and hopefully this new lawyer will be able to help her to get control over her money and her life. She said that she will not be putting out another album. She'll not be doing any more performances or anything of that nature until after her dad has been removed as a conservator. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys posted. Let's see. Marcel says, B, I'm away from audio for a bit. Have to take a call. Mom not doing well at the moment. Oh, okay, that's fine. Say hi to your mom. I will send some prayers out for her. Sandra McLeod said, I'm bringing back. Sandra, make sure mango in it. Make sure, I don't even know what, but just bring back enough things. Just bring back enough things. Anyways, we're going to do a COVID roundup. Today we're starting in Ontario, so we're still in step 3. So far, the COVID numbers are coming down in Ontario. Places are now open back with limited capacity. I still have not gone to Winners yet, but I'll probably do that next week because, yeah, I need some stuff. The conversation now is, how will the kids be vaccinated and will they be ready for school in September? What will happen to those kids under age 12 who are not eligible to take the vaccine? You know, will all teachers be required to take the vaccine? All of that stuff. So lots of things still to be sorted out. They're saying that the last day that kids need to take the vaccine, I think it's August 24th, so that they will have like their 2 weeks incubation period for school in September. So we're not quite sure what's happening. Clinics are now set up to get kids 12 and older vaccinated. They're given priorities now in order for them to be ready for school in September. The UK is allowing people who are fully vaccinated to enter the country and not have to quarantine people from Europe and the USA. However, they did not extend that privilege to Canada. So somebody have to talk to Boris Johnson about that to see what go on with that. AstraZeneca is submitting an application for its vaccine to be recognized in the USA. So in the USA, it's just Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna. In Canada, it's AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna. Over 700 million people in 170 countries around the world have used AstraZeneca, but because it's not approved in the USA, no one there has used it, and it's not recognized yet. So there's some issues with people traveling to the USA who have been vaccinated with AstraZeneca, and because it's not recognized, they're having issues. So we'll see what's happening. Also, some countries are not recognizing the mixed vaccine shots. So even though like Pfizer and Moderna are recognized vaccine, and if you got your first shot as Pfizer and your second shot as Moderna, it's not recognized. You have to either get Pfizer or get Moderna. I'm sure that will be changing before the end of the month or before the end of the summer. So if you're planning on traveling to a country other than, Jamaica, where they're pretty much taking anybody right now, check to make sure what are the requirements of that country that you're going to make sure you don't get stuck there. All right. So Also, I read a report where people are actually dressing in disguise in order to get their vaccination shots as they don't want to be ridiculed. And this is happening in the USA. She said there's this doctor that said that she's seen more than one person come in to get vaccinated who have sort of tried to disguise their appearance and went so far as to say, please, please, please don't let anybody know that I got this vaccine. I don't want my friends to know. Imagine now you are get your vaccine to protect yourself and you have to still worry about what your friends think or what other people think about you getting your vaccine. If them no want get for them vaccine or for them problem, you do what's best for you and somebody else can do what's best for them. Like me get my vaccine, me no business if he, she or the old lady no want get for them. Me get what me do what's best for me. Me not hide and talk. Me not go in and no disguise or be silent or be quiet. Me get my vaccine. You don't want to get your one, your problem. But for people that go actually go disguise themselves, foolishness. Anyways, Jamaica is back into a curfew. A couple of weeks, them did, low up the curfew till 11 o'clock and with limited capacity outside. But you know how us Jamaicans follow rules and regulations quite well. Well, the 100 people where you're supposed to have outside, when me see the party them are going to Jamaica, I know. Nobody's masking. Everybody just going like a regular. Well, the COVID numbers are going up. And I know based on my numbers that I did, 60 people have died within the last week from COVID in Jamaica. So they're back on at 8 o'clock curfew. People are not happy with the development. They're very upset. And, well, everybody across the government know, but at the same time, nobody not looking to see what's happening in Japan and Spain and Australia and all those other countries that had opened up and have had to lock back down because of the Delta variant, as well as there's some states that, got rid of the mask mandate, saying that you didn't have to wear a mask. And now I know Washington, I know California, and a few of those states are saying you now need your masks in order to come into public buildings and some private buildings. So we'll see what's happening. I know we're frustrated with how Ontario is approaching the reopening, but at the same time, the numbers are trending the way they're supposed to. They're going down. We've had days where nobody has died from COVID. So let's hope it continues along that way. Also, Jamaica will be getting 300,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine from the UK as a part of the COVAX initiative. So vaccine, I think it's going to be arriving in Jamaica tomorrow. I remember that Dr. Tufton stated that they should start the new vaccination process by Saturday. So we'll see what happens. Also, there are articles that I've read where people who don't believe in COVID. I mean, I have a question to ask. If you don't believe in a COVID and you get sick and you go to hospital and doctor say you have COVID, are really COVID you have if you don't believe in it? Me just ask a question. Like if you don't believe in it, I can't eat it have if you don't believe in it. But there's an Alabama nurse that the media, CNN and a few other media interviewed her, and she stated that a lot of non-believers, when they get COVID and are in the hospital on their dying bed, that is when they want the vaccine, and she has to tell them that it's too late for them. There's also situations where employers are requiring their employees to either be fully vaccinated or get tested every week. I don't know if I'd want to be poked in the nose every week, but to each his own. I've had conversations with people who tell me that them don't know what in the vaccine and them drink and smoke. No, me know them don't know what in the liquor. Them know say the liquor will get them cirrhosis of the liver. Them know say we make them drunk. But them still willingly go buy liquor. Them know say chemicals in a cigarette. Them know say the chemicals will give them lung cancer and all of them something there. Make them sick. But them willingly go buy the cigarettes and the weeds. But una go tell me say una no know what in the vaccine, so una nah go take it? Really? Una drink alcohol, una no know why not, because I know make it. Una smoke cigarette and the amount of chemical, even the like the bad gum and the black lungs and all of them something they want them put on the cigarette box to try stop una from buying the cigarette. Una still go buy the cigarette and smoke it. Willingly killing yourself. I don't go talk about una no know what in a vaccine. Like, people get a grip. Get a grip. Sharon says, or if you have breathing problems related COVID, why go to the hospital usually in a panic? Right? You don't believe in a COVID. You don't believe. I'm always thinking, if you don't believe in a COVID and you have some issues related to COVID, is it really COVID? Like, people, y'all need to get a grip with this thing. Anyways, so during the height of the pandemic, a lot of surgeries were being put off because we didn't have enough beds and stuff to accommodate the surgeries. Well, the province has decided that they're going to throw some money, I think over 300 million, towards speeding up some of the surgeries that have to be put off. So surgeries were, they'll be doing evening surgeries, they'll be doing weekend surgeries in order to address the patient wait time. It says it would provide to enable, they're going to add 67,000 new surgeries and 135,000 additional diagnostic imaging hours this fall, with a goal to clear the medical backlog by spring 2022. They're only saying that there were 200,000 surgeries on the surgical waitlist in Ontario. But there are more on-screen, undiagnosed patients to join the waitlist for surgeries as the pandemic wanes. So they're saying the focus will be on high-volume, non-urgent scheduled surgeries, which make up a large portion of patients waiting for surgical care outside of recommended time. They're estimating that it will cost the province $1.3 billion to clear the backlog. Oh, wow. That's a lot. They're saying it would take the province approximately 3.5 years to clear the backlog of canceled surgery, which would reach 419,200 procedures by the end of September, factoring postponed diagnostic procedures. The numbers will rise nearly to 2.5 million per year. They're estimating there's a backlog of 15.9 million surgeries, diagnostic exam screenings, and other medical procedures that have been deferred due to the pandemic. And the people have no want to them yard. Them not understand, say, the longer COVID goes on, the more COVID goes on, it affects other areas of the health field. People who have cancer now get diagnosed quickly. Surgeries are being put off. So it don't not only affect COVID patients, it spills over into other areas of the health field. So we'll see what happens. Just going to run the COVID numbers. So in Canada, 1.43 million have been tested, 1.4 million have recovered, and we've had 26,573 deaths. And I was telling somebody about this and highlighting the fact that in Florida, their population is less than the population of Canada, but their death is almost twice the amount of what we have here in Canada. And again, that's partly because of the way that we've dealt with the coronavirus. So worldwide, the 196 million people have been tested, 190 million plus have been recovered, and 4.19 million have died. In Ontario, we've tested 550,000, 539,000 have recovered, and 9,328 people have died. And in Jamaica, we've had 52,322 tested, for 46,911 recovered, and 1,182 have died. Like I said, within just this last week in Jamaica alone, 60 people have died from COVID. So the numbers are getting scary. Anyways, on to a little lighter note. So congratulations are in order to the real Stacious, Stacy Scarlett Bryan, as she's the winner of the 2021 Festival Song Competition. Her song titled Jamaican Spirit beat out all the other contestants, which included Tamo J, who came in third, and DB, who came in second. I-Octane, Luton Fire, and Fab Five also entered the competition. Cash prize was $3 million. So congrats to Stacia. This song nice still. A festival song nice. And I like the fact that last year and this year it's becoming a bit more relevant. You have artists who are actually looking forward to entering the competition. They're reviving it. So it's awesome. So I'm not quite sure. We're just going to do a little bit of Olympic roundup. So I'm not quite sure who remember the Tyson Holyfield fight when Tyson bite off a little piece of Holyfield ears a few years ago. Well, a Moroccan boxer, Younes Bala, has made a name for himself at the Olympics game, but perhaps for the wrong reasons. As he was he was doing his fight with New Zealand's David Nyaka. Bala attempted to chomp on his opponent's ear in the final round. Bala nena beat Nyaka. So Bala decided to say, nobody. Oh, Jesus. Anyways, unfortunately, Bala did not win his bout. He lost 5-0 to Nyaki. But yeah, that was not good. And Simone Biles, the U.S. gymnast, decided to withdraw from the team portion of the gymnastics competition due to mental health reasons. And the way the people them drag her, the way the people them go on with her, you would have think so the little girl not have no feelings. I mean, she's gone through a lot in the last few years. And, you know, they like the media, everybody, but she's gone through a lot. Like, she had to she was one of the gymnasts that reported Larry Nassar for sexually abusing her. Larry Nassar, she had to testify at his trial. He was convicted. He got 100 and some odd years in jail for sexually abusing the gymnast over a period of like 10, 15 years. So that, and, you know, it's been a lot. And there are coaches who have pushed other players to push through injury. I know one gymnast who's been crippled because of that. There's another gymnast who had to retire at age 18 because she was forced to compete with a broken leg or broken toe or something. and things just never went back for the same for her. While Simone was competing, she didn't do well. And she's the number one gymnast in the world. And she said she didn't do well because she got in her head. And with the stunts that she does, I mean, the girl can break her neck if her headspace not the way it's supposed to be. So she take herself out of the competition in order to not jeopardize her team. She cheered her team on from the sidelines. They won silver, and another of her teammates won an individual gold. Now, that would not have happened if, Simone had decided to stay in the game and be selfish and ruin it for other people. So, big up to Miss Biles. Hopefully, whatever is happening in your head, takes a while. So, hey, Carlene, Carlene said, big up Stacious, St. Hughes past student, best school in Jamaica. May Africa debate the best school in Jamaica thing with you, Carlene, because Mount Alvernia and William Neb High School over here. So, hey, I know Sharon I got chime in with fear one. So, hey, so we are going to debate the best school in Jamaica, Mount Alvernia, yeah, William Neb High, yeah. Fastest man in the world, William Nib alumni, yeah. Sharon says, how Hollyfield wear his mask, and Andrina says, maybe he was hungry. Oh, you never know. What Colleen? What Colleen said? I bad day start now, debate now. Colleen, I'm just gonna say, fastest man in the world, William Nib Memorial High School out of Falmouth, Martin Trelawney. Right there, so. Right there, so. Argument done. Right there, so. Right there. And then Mount Alvernia, best high school in a Cornwall region. Right there, so. Right there, so. Anyways, I am going to go into my WTF moment of the week. And trust me, when me see that, you can't imagine how this man now. Look on this man. Can you believe that the man in the orange tights are the same man who not see on screen? You can't believe that the same man that. So he's a Brazilian. He's completely tattooed. He removed his nose, added horns, and reshaped his ears to resemble an orc. My people that watch too much TV. So Fernando Franco de Oliveira is nearly unrecognizable from how he appeared a decade ago. In those 10 years, the Brazilian tattoo artist has covered nearly every part of his body in ink and undergone surgery to give himself horns, a forked tongue, pointed orc ears, and even going as far as to cut off his nose. Me hear them say if you cut off, people cut off them nose to spite them face, but the man cut off his nose just because. The Oliveira, who owns a tattoo studio in the southern Brazil city of Tatuí, 150 kilometers west of Sao Paulo, says he's been primarily inspired by skull imagery and the Lord of the Rings. In a way, I'm like the main attraction of my own studio, he told CTV News in a video interview, adding that clients love his appearance and passersby often stop to snap selfies with him. About 70% of people who see me on the street, they want to take photos with me and they find me interested. Men are going to run from you. He said while he draws stares from strangers, he says friends and family aren't shocked by his appearance anymore. Most of my friends are already used to my appearance, adding that his family members took some time to get used to his transformation. When I first started tattooing myself and doing all these modifications, it was a big shock to them. In 2006, he started covering himself head to feet with tattoos of dragons, clowns, bulldogs, and other creatures. His ink is so extensive that he was recognized in 2014 as the most tattooed person in the country of Brazil. D. Oliveira calls the 8 years he spent getting the tattoos by far the most painful experience I've gone through. But as he inked more and more of his body, he began altering his appearance in other ways too. He began stretching out his earlobes, then injecting ink into his eyes, turning them black, adding horns to his head, replacing his teeth with vampire dentures, and even splitting his tongue in half. He eventually covered his facial tattoos by dyeing his skin blue and had his ears reshaped to resemble those of an orc, a race of monstrous humanoids who represent the corrupted versions of hells and men in J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. But I would have to say that the most life-impacting modification I've done was with my nose, he said, explaining he had it surgically removed in March and it's taken several months to heal. It's still very painful because when I take a shower, a lot of water goes into my nose. Everybody, most people in the world, they're all alike. They're the same. And I want it to be different. I want to stick out. Carlene said this will need a whole program to rate out schools. True that, true that, true that. Hey, Colleen, how are you? Thanks for checking in. Sharon says, imagine seeing him after a few drinks at night. I don't have to have a few drinks at night to be running from him if me see him on a dark night. Even in a daytime, me see me, I go run from him. The man cut off him nose. The man cut off him nose to the point now where when him a beard, it's a problem for him because the water. The man cut off him nose. Look at the man in the orange shirt. What did look like, and then now look at him. Sharon said maybe his nose was big. Man, can you imagine waking up to that in the mornings? Oh boy. Anyways, to each his own. Sharon says reverse bleaching. Yes, because the man dyes himself blue with blue ink and all of them something there. Him have no wells left on him body for tattoo, so he start color himself blue. The man all take out in teeth them and put in vampire dentures. He split him tongue in a two. Me not understand. But this probably will give me nightmares tonight, but who will see. Anyways, I thought this picture that's on screen was very cute. Very interesting. That is how people in the Victorian ages used to go to the toilet. Imagine being the person who had to shovel shit. Not a nice job at all. Not a nice job at all. So, interesting. So if you've just joined me, drop a hi, drop a hello, drop a comment. Let me know who is here with me. Okay, so we're going to circle to Atlanta. And the man accused of killing 8 people at the Atlanta area spas in March, he has been, he pled guilty to 4 deaths, to 4 killings. He's been sentenced to 4 life sentences. He's also still in court on a couple other charges. So there's still a few other charges that are pending against him because he was indicted on 23 charges. He's been, he pled guilty to 4 and has been sentenced to life sentence in those 4. He's a guy that went to the massage parlors and killed mostly Asian people. Now, can you believe that the family of those Asian people the family of the people he killed stated that they did not want to pursue the death penalty? Me not that forgiving. Me would have want the death penalty. You kill any member of my family, friend, or very close friend, or whatever. Me, I go want death penalty for you. Me not want you sit down a prisoner eat food and get fat. So the surviving victims stated that the surviving victims and family members stating that, you know, they forgive him and they don't want him to get the death penalty. Crazy. Me would have want him dead. Nope, you not sit down in a prison. I eat food, I enjoy life, I watch TV and all of them something there. Me would have want you dead. So I'm gonna go to Texas, and the Texas man, the black guy with the glasses, he elbowed a bailiff who was attempting to handcuff him after he was convicted of killing a San Antonio police detective. Jurors deliberated about 25 minutes on Monday before convicting Otis McCain, 40, of capital murder in the November 2016 fatal shooting of Detective Benjamin Marconi. Prosecutors were seeking the death penalty against McCain, with a trial's punishment phase set to begin Tuesday afternoon. The bailiff was trying to handcuff McCain when McCain elbowed him in the face before several officers pushed him into an adjacent room. Gonzalez said the bailiff was not seriously injured. Marconi was fatally shot as he sat in his patrol car during a traffic stop that did not involve McCain. So apparently McCain, the police was sitting in the car minding his own business. McCain walked up and just shot him. And I guess McCain, figure say he might go prison, so there's nothing else them can do to him. So more lash out at somebody, and the closest person was the bailiff who was putting on the handcuffs on him, and that's what I'm doing. All of that. But I did want to see a video evidence of this thing to see if him just fully walk up to a police officer and shoot the police. Cause then that means him mental if you just go walk up to a police officer and shoot the police officer just for no reason, just like that. So I don't know what evidence them did have, come never follow the trial there, but yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go to Jamaica, and this gentleman on screen, he's from the Claremont community of St. Anne. They've been plunged into mourning again following the tragic death of a popular taxi driver affectionately called Lando. So apparently that particular community, they had a couple of drownings there recently on July 27th, and then on that day, so on July 27th, 18-year-old Ajay Henry drowned at a river, and then the next day, July 28th, so that was yesterday, Orlando Webb, who drives from Claremont to Bamboo, St. Anne, lost his life in a domestic dispute. Reports are that explosions were heard inside Webb's Brittonville home, and neighbors alerted the police. Webb was found suffering from gunshot wounds and was transported to a hospital where he later died. He's been remembered as a jovial man. His colleagues are still in shock, as they said that he was very pleasant to be around. He never talked for purpose, and if he said something he didn't like, he was just fan you off. He was a good man and didn't deserve such an end. They said he used to work security with him, and he was a very humble young man. Apparently, it was his girlfriend shot him. His girlfriend shot him. Based on different reports, there wasn't an argument or anything. People did not hear any argument. They didn't hear anything. He went to take a shower, and I guess she went in the shower. I've not heard or read anywhere where they had ongoing domestic dispute. Cause when things happen, people have something to say. this a why and that a why and all of them something. This is one of the few times where none of that not come out based on all the other research that I've done. So, hey Clarendon, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. So condolences to his family. Apparently, based on what people have said, he was a very good guy, and yeah, shouldn't have died that way. So, gonna touch on Jamaica and New York for a bit because a new radio station called The Bridge was launched earlier this month. It's a part of the CGN group, which is they're based in New York, and they are a part of the Ira Jam Radio. So it'll be Bridge 99 FM. It'll be simulcast to their sister station, Ira Jam Radio 93.5 FM in New York. And why I am excited about this channel is because of the people that will be on it. So if you don't know about it yet, go and go check it out. Go and go check it out. It's bridge95fm.com online. Couple of the on-air presenters are Dr. Kingsley Ragashanti Stewart. He's going to be doing a night show 2 nights a week. Nikki Z is on it. She does the afternoon show. I think she finishes at about 7 or 8. DJ Kurt Riley, and I know Kurt Riley, good for the music. Oliver Samuels, yes, the comedian Oliver Samuels, he will be on that radio station as well. And Rory, DJ Rory from Stone Love, he has a radio show on that station as well. So the lineup for that radio station. So I've watched it a couple of times because you can see live or you can listen it on the radio, see it online stuff. And yeah, so me just a whip on Ragashanti if you start theme program. He hasn't started it yet. I think he starts next week. But so far, so good with Nikki Z, Kurt Riley, and Oliver and Rory. Them are going good. Let me see what Clarendon says. Good mama. I'm watching the 800 meters race. I know track and field starts tonight. So, so a time for the Jamaican Dutch pot them. Turn up. Whoa, girl, the ear color look nice. Yes, thank you. Me a rock. And she said me glowing. Well, thank you. Colleen says, yes, Clarendon, the year a ball out. Well, I've been trying the blonde thing for a couple of weeks now, so far, so good. It kind of hide the gray hair them. So when I keep my hair this low, it kind of hide the gray hair them. So I'm going to color it again yesterday because I never want to go a barber, so I'm just color it yesterday. And yeah, I was lazy. It noise. Thanks, sis. Thank you. So I'm going to circle around to California. Keep it updated on what's going on the 800 meters because that's the elimination portion of going now. So keep us updated. So may I give work for the year? Yeah. So we're going to circle around to California, and a Northern California woman barely escaped with her life after a crocodile bit her leg and wouldn't let go at a Mexican resort on the incident happened July 18 at the Marriott Resort in the Puerto Vallarta as the woman Kiana Hummel, 18, and a friend went to the beach for a late night dip. You see why I'm not going to water at night time because I can't see what come? That's when a 12-foot crocodile chomped down on her right leg and dragged her screaming into the water. Hummel's friend and 4 Good Samaritans fought the reptile to a draw before a hotel employee armed with a hunk of wood struck the crocodile. That forced it to finally let go, and Hummel was taken away to safety. I'm pretty grateful that people were there to help me, she said from her hospital bed at Marion General Hospital. I don't think I would have gotten out without them. So hold on. So all that means say them fight the alligator to a draw and then somebody come help them with and they're actually blaming the hotel also for not telling them that alligators were in the water. Now, the hotel said there's lots of sign posted that tells them to be careful. There's lots of sign posted that tell them to be careful when in the water. And for anybody who travel, and when you stay at hotel where they're on the beach, or they know say by 5, 6 o'clock, the lifeguard them done work. And them a tell us to come out of the water. So if you choose to go to a hotel and you choose to go in the ocean after when time dark, where you can't see what go on, how not go blame the hotel? How not go blame the hotel? And them a talk, but she and her friend them a said them did a throw rocks at this something and then did that thing and it was me not understand. Me not understand at all. But luckily for her, she won. The alligator lost because somebody jumped in with a piece of wood and helped fight the alligator. And she didn't lose a limb. She's able to walk away. And the sad part about it is too, is that she went to the hotel to celebrate the end of her chemotherapy journey because she overcame cancer. And that was her celebration trip. And she nearly get eaten by a crocodile. Sometimes truth, what happened in a real life, just worse than what you see for a movie. Sometimes let me see Karen said Jamaican winner first eat Natalia Gould. Thank you for the update. Karen said, no, so me now play with the this must be a movie script. And a movie script. Hey pedal, what I go on. Thanks for checking. And a movie script. The girl got past something and them said me stuck at the part where them said them fight the alligator to a draw. How you draw with an alligator? I don't understand the part there. So anybody who fight an alligator previously, let me know if you win, or let me know if the alligator win, or let me know if it was a draw. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna go to China, and I found this article quite interesting because Sun Dawu, a Chinese billionaire pig farmer and agricultural mogul, has been sentenced after weeks of hearings in secret to 18 years in prison. Right? 18 years in prison. Tell me what the man charged for. And them also fine him 3.11 million yuan, which is 345,000 pounds, which would be about 700,000 Canadian dollars. Because they said he was provoking trouble. So in China, provoking trouble means that you're protesting, you're gathering with a crowd to attack state organs, you're obstructing government administration, you're picking quarrel and provoking trouble. So when you watch a Jamaican video, them you see them people they all up in the police and face and a go on. Them the action then in China now happen. But you can at 18 years him get for something for just protesting. So things what we take for granted over here, where you can just shut down the street and march and people get locked up and then release you the next day or a couple days after. At 18 years, this man get in a prison. 18 years he must spend in prison just for protesting in a China. So when people talk about sometimes they only Canada this can go on, or only Jamaica this can go on. No. It go on worse in other country, and for the day of China, only go prison for long. Because the man that owned Alibaba Him did a Jack Ma, him did a get two big film bridges, and him actually, and one of his, I think it was either Europe or North America, they had like a whole big symposium, and him criticized the Chinese government. He has not been heard from since. And then the Chinese government put things in motion where it sees some of his assets, and the company that he processes his payments through, them shut down part of the company there, so him can't operate properly, and all of them something there. So when you talk out against what's happening in China as a Chinese, that is what happened to you. But he's not the only person to be jailed for 18 years for talking out against the government. Can you imagine 18 years? 18 years? Communist China does not tolerate freedom of any kind. That's true, Sharon. Very, very true. Very, very true. So I'm going to go to Louisiana. And I thought this was very, very interesting. So there's a swingers trailer park called Horn Dogs. Bring your spouse, bring your house, and share your spouse. T-Boy Swinger Trailer Park in Evangeline's motto is bring your house and share yours. Owner David Alcoin said the time seemed right for the park as swingers ditched both their clothes and caution following the COVID-19 pandemic that was like saltpeter to their amorous antics. You can come to Maman for many good things. This will be one of them. The swinger community is bigger than most will know, he added. Live free and don't be scared of it. I think a bunch of them aren't shy. The ones that are shy, hell with them. Roll with it. It's a good thing compared to most things. Couples craving carnal capers across the country have inquired about the park, he said. They've gotten calls from Pennsylvania, Arkansas, Acadia, and around Mamou, Platte, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Slidell. They have text messages from all over the country. Most of them call or text just to see if it's real, just to see if somebody is going to answer, because they'll say, oh, no, nobody's there. It's not a real number. Or they'll get on Facebook and say, oh, it's not a real number. A sign calling for a photo of your spouse is just a joke, he said. As for the prudish Mrs. Parker's poised to pounce on the fun and gaze, man, there's a lot of alliteration in this article. A coin has a message for them. Sucks to be them. There's no reason to get mad at anybody for their preference. You're not out here hurting nobody. Nobody's selling drugs here. People just want to have a good time, enjoy themselves the way they want to. So the site will have a nude pool, a nude yoga stadium, a strip poker hall, and a key party cabana. So if you're into swinging and you have a camper, just pull up your camper to the campsite and off you go. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So we're going to circle around to, will anybody take up that challenge or take up that offer? You know, just drive over to the U.S., drive down to Louisiana, park your camper, and off you go. So we're going to circle to New York, and officers has been fired after the NYPD found out that he raped a girl from the youth program. So 2 officers engaged in shocking professional and sexual misconduct with a 15-year-old. A disciplinary trial was told. They were fired this year after they engaged in a sexual misconduct with a teenage girl who they were supposed to help because she was in a rehabilitation program. And they also were supposed to be helping her to get better. They said that together, both officers together exchanged more than 1,500 texts with her over the course of more than a year, some of which included sexually explicit messages. The girl was interviewed by state prosecutors as part of a sex trafficking investigation, but then she stopped cooperating, according to the spokesperson. She stopped cooperating because the cops were telling her not to. The cops who are now, Shohati, who's now 41, and Musalam, who's 34. They were not criminally charged, but the prosecutors refer their findings to the police department. So we're still not sure whether they'll be charged criminally, but they have been fired from the police department in New York, in Brooklyn, and we're still yet to see what will happen with that. But can you imagine 15-year-old now? So she would have been 13 at the time when that started. So they should be possibly charged for statutory rape. And, so we'll see what happens with how that goes. But you can't reach out. As a teenager, them supposed to help her. And that was not the case. That was not the case at all. So we're going to circle around to Edmonton, and a judge has sentenced an Ontario truck driver to 12 and a half years in prison for killing a woman in his Edmonton hotel room a decade ago. Bradley Barton will get credit for the days he has already spent in custody, so he has about 11 years remaining in his sentence. A jury found Barton guilty in February of manslaughter in the death of Cindy Gladue, a 36-year-old Métis and Cree woman who bled to death at the Yellowhead Inn in June 2011. Medical experts testified the mother of three had 4 times the legal limit of alcohol in her system when she was left bleeding in a bathtub. Crown prosecutors argued that while Gladue was passed out, Barton performed a sexual act that caused a severe wound to her vagina, then dumped her in the tub and left her to die. Barton, 53, testified that he arranged to pay Gladue for sex and was shocked when he woke in the morning to find her dead and covered in blood in the tub. So what kind of sex him could I have so way damage her vagina that much where she bleed to death? Nah, man. What kind of sex him could I did have with her where him damage her vagina that much where she bleed to death? Oh, hi, Lindsay. Thanks for checking in. A jury, this was the second trial because the jury had found him not guilty in the first trial, which sparked rallies and calls for justice to, Indigenous women. That case was represented, and he was now found guilty. The Supreme Court ordered a new trial. He's found guilty now. But me want to know what kind of sex him could have did have with her, where him Cheryl say him have the anaconda. Cheryl say must use an object. Man, anyways, we're gonna go to Jamaica. Lindsay said the man well endowed. Too much. We're gonna go to Jamaica because was it yesterday or the day before? 3 cops were being investigated after a shooting because of an alleged love triangle. So District Constable Delvin Campbell, who is the male, Constable Marian Johnson and Tawana Johnson are the 2 female. We're not sure if the 2 Johnson ladies are related, but both women have a child with Campbell. Poor policeman. Anyways, it is stated that Tawana, who was off duty, went to visit Delvin at the Franklin Town Police Station. It is also stated that while she was visiting him, Marian also showed up at the station as well. They got into an argument and Marian pepper sprayed Tawana. The dispute was quelled and all parties went their separate ways. Delvin later met up with Tawana, carried her to Old Harbor where she lived, and when they arrived at Tawanna's house, they saw that Marion was parked at the gate, so they left and went to the Old Harbor police station. When they got to the station, parked the car and came out, they saw that Marion had followed them. When they were coming out of the car, Marion drove her car at Delvin, who then fired 3 rounds from his Glock service pistols towards the ground. She stopped the car and came out and stated that she was injured, and she then drove away and went to the Spanish Town Hospital for treatment. Indicom is now investigating. I don't know if it's about this. I don't know if it's about that one. Anyways, we're going to go to Chicago because 3 police officers in Jamaica fight over, so 2 women still a fight over them, something there, over man and all of them. And the 2 of them are pitting for the man. So we're going to circle to Chicago, where a man nearly strangles his penis to death with rubber bands. An elderly dementia patient strangled his own penis after wrapping rubber bands around it and leaving them on for 3 days. The 81-year-old had to have emergency surgery in Chicago after the skin on the tip of his members started to rot. Yellow and purple patches began to appear on both the shaft and base of his penis because of the lack of blood supply. Doctors claimed his penis could have fallen off if they hadn't removed the bands when they did. Doctors deduced that the man's unconventional hog ties had staunched the blood flow and damaged his member, which, when coupled with his poor circulation from his underlying diabetes, had resulted in a necrotic or gangrenous state, the case study said. In order to prevent further degradation, doctors burned out the dead flesh with a hot wire and excised it with scalpels. They also inserted a catheter into the unfortunate soul's urethra to drain the reservoir of urine that had pooled because the patient's growing garret had prevented him from peeing. With the help of antibiotics, the patient recovered within 5 days. However, he failed to appear at his follow-up appointment 2 weeks later. They're actually saying that it's not the first time that they've seen phallic strangulation, a practice generally associated with psychiatric disorders and sexual deviancy. Last year, a Ukraine man had to be hospitalized after his wife fastened a chastity knot to his penis to stop him from sleeping around. Yeah, that I'm gonna end it right there on that note for tonight. I am going to touch on my soul chattings for the night, and the soul chattings for this week is: every teacher was once a student, every master was once a beginner, and every winner was once a loser. Every teacher was once a student, every master was once a beginner, every winner was once a loser. So, yeah, me never knows the people still have put chastity belt on people because them no want them to cheat. Like, why though? Why? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And then the poor little man not in him right mind and he gone put Enid says she can't stop smiling, and Colleen says big up all teachers. Yes, we have to appreciate all teachers. So the gift this week is Ieso Detox Tea. It's the green tea. It doesn't have a flavor. You can drink it hot or cold. I prefer to drink it at night so that when it does its thing in the morning, I'm good to go and I'm on the road. I don't have to run off of the road, because sometimes when you drink 2 or 3 of this together, you have to find somewhere fast. In a COVID, me notice a lot of the place them lock up them bathrooms. So this is what we're drawing for tonight. Last night I was on Christine's show and I won grocery at a store in Toronto. So next week I'll be paying that forward, and I'll be giving away those next week. I think I won $100 worth of grocery at a West Indian store in Toronto. So next week, once I get that from Christine next week, I'm going to pay it forward, and I'll be giving away. I'll be splitting it in two next week and giving away two $50 grocery shopping at the West Indian store on Western Road. So that's for next week. But for this week, it's a tea. Next week, once I meet up with Christine and get the gift certificate, the $100 gift certificate that I won from her in Orlando last night, I'm paying that forward, and I'll be giving away those next week on the show. So Sharon said, and some are born losers. Lindsay says you must have had a moment of clarity, then the dementia kicked in again. Possibly. Sharon says, I'll take next week's winning. Thanks. Well, you have to tune in next week to see who wins. But yeah, I won it last night. I'm paying it forward, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So for tonight, let's see who wins the tea. Let's see who wins the tea. Hey, Carlene. Okay. Congratulations, Carlene. Message me your address so I can send you. It's a week's supply of detox tea. I'll send it in the mail. And that's the end of the show for tonight, my ladies and gentlemen and friends. So thanks for tuning in. See you next Thursday, same time, 7. Next Thursday. I think that's the 5th at 9 p.m. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Bye.